So here I had just unlocked the spirit jump, and I was trying to see what all I could do with the spirit jump, if I could dash with it, and I couldn't. So that was good to know. And then sometimes I'm just accidentally hitting the wrong button. So here I am going through, and apparently there's a bit that's in that section, and I do a lot of warping to get to different locations to try to unlock. And even though I literally just said that I need to pay attention to the dashing, I still had issues. So not everything is a dash. So here is a prime circumstance of these are jumpable and not needing to dash. In fact, if you dash, you're gonna get kicked back. And my little spirit helper is definitely helping. And so here is defeat a horde without taking any damage. And that is a lot of monsters. And I love the fact that the little skulls have a little wave to them. But one of the things that I like about this level is, again, it's the dash. So if you control the dash, you can control when certain monsters are going to become a threat. And that becomes apparent. But I do make mistakes, and it takes a little bit of getting used to determine what exactly the pattern for these guys is. And that was it. Bite back releases a circle of spikes when you take damage. So that would be very beneficial, because then if I ever take damage, then you're gonna get like a retaliatory attack back. So again, we're just jumping. And you want to make that first one, if you're going to dash, you want it to be, if you're going to do a regular jump, you want it to be solid. If you're going to do a dash, you want it to be transparent. And then I realized I wanted to go the other way, so I actually needed to come back. But I had already figured this out, that it was just a matter of just jumping across and not making it harder than it was. So that made it pretty easy. And then it's just going through and realizing that, like, some of these guys are not going to be able to hurt you if you don't dash. And these are walls that you have to dash to get over, and I got a little too jump happy on that. And going through, and that is where you have to have a special key to unlock. And this is where I'm trying to look and locate different places I can go for objectives I haven't met yet, and what can I do. Specifically, even better if there's a shrine nearby that, you know, what I can do, and I'm just always like gobsmacked about how long that chase was. Since we don't have to deal with that puzzle again. That was the one that got us the Constellation special attack, which I should try out equipping some of the other special attacks just to see, you know, what they do. And then confirming that I needed to go up. And I don't believe I can reach the other side. I tried to spin my spirit self over a few times, and that doesn't work. And so I'm going to jump over to a different shrine and see if I can't locate another item that I can do, like another mission or objective. And that's got a gate. I believe no, I don't think that's the tower. That's too far over. This one took me a little bit more time than it should have, and now I'm kind of like in the hang of doing the please don't judge me. I try to get the hang of this, and I kind of can do it. And I kind of had to go a little cattywampus on that. And then I immediately just jump off the cliff. Yeah. But that little spirit helper is amazing. I was checking to see on the map to see if I need to go on the left or right of that little platform. Because sometimes all you can do is you might see that there's an edge of a platform. I completely missed that spirit. I could have knocked that with my broom. Okay. I will have to do that. And see, I immediately just jump in the lake. I know some cats can swim. I mean, neither of my cats like water, but... The other thing that I'm trying to do is I'm also trying to collect... apparently an achievement of how many times can I jump off of the side. Now I do have the assist that turns off fall damage because I kept falling so much that I was going back. And this one is a trail of spikes will follow behind you. Defeat 10 enemies. So the trick to this particular curse is you can't stop moving. You have to stay in motion at all times. And preferably not be greedy, but if you can get it doesn't really do anything to be like further away, because it's always going to be a matter that you need more of those little spaces, the space between you. And there I actually got hit with one of them. Two of them. But I'm to the point where I only need 2 more enemies. And there's one. And it's like I'm just looking for some of them, and then there's my upgrade point. And now I've got to go back, because that was not the direction that I wanted to go, but that was where I had to go, because I really needed to have time to let the spikes go out. I'm just checking to see where that entrance is. And so I got across. We're going to save to a new shrine. And this was a really interesting puzzle. I don't necessarily know if I care for it. But, so the cat is... I mean, now that I'm looking at it, I could have probably also done where instead of doing this, I did this a lot more complicated than it needed to be. If I had stood directly to the left, no, sorry, to the right of the little kindling, then I could have just hit it over in 2 shots. So one to get it vertical, and then the second one to do horizontal instead of what I did. Would have been a more efficient method. Now these things are kind of interesting. They remind me of like kind of a caterpillar millipede. But they self-destruct. They self-destruct at a certain point. And this one took a little bit to figure out what I needed to do. And first was to have the toggle. That was what I was trying to look for. And I don't know how I got that on the first try. I'm still kind of in shock that it worked, but it did. So I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just gonna keep going. And then this is when I realized how much that spirit helper is really valuable, because it went through and it killed some of the monsters. There's a new photo. Pebble. So Pebble lived with Pearl in a rainy bog. One day she noticed that all the bugs were gone from the bog. She ventured out to investigate. She heard a loud noise from above. She looked up. And that's Pebble's story. And the fires really don't scare me. It's just they're more of like a moving obstacle, but they're actually quite doable. And there's another upgrade point. And I'm able to just kind of like walk out. And there's another frog statue. That was the frog statue where we got the photo. Now this one was... This one took a bit of trial and error. And I got a lot better at it, I think, with the practice on this. One of the things that if I had, I know that there's the boss battles. If there is anything that would be otherwise to add as like an extra, like it would just be like a skill set. And this is where I realized I've got to hit this over, not diagonally. I've got to hit this over to the side. Over, jump over, hit it over, light it on fire, have it come back, hit it up into the wall, jump back over, and then prepare to knock it over back into the bonfire. And this takes a bit of... There's that, and then I think, okay... I was thinking maybe I needed to hit it down at that point, and... By this point, I've kind of got the hitting it, and then I realized, okay, hit it up and over, and that's the solution. So it's pretty ingenious. And then there it looks like a little YouTube play button. There was something over to the right that we'll have to look at later. And there is our pathway down. So that way it makes it where it's easily accessible. And we have, looks like a movie theater. So we kind of saved it up here. New area of the theater. Welcome. What movie would you like to buy a ticket for? Not sure. What movies are you showing? Oh, well, there's only one movie actually, and the movie is way too scary, so I'm afraid I can't sell you a ticket to it. It's theater policy. Aw, man, I really want to watch it. What's it called? It's called Ghost Slaughter 3. It's so scary, in fact, that no ghost has ever been able to watch the entire film. But I'll tell you what, we're a bit short-staffed right now, and I haven't had any time to pick up the film reels for our next few movies. So if you can pick them up, I'll let you watch Ghost Slaughter 3. There are 3 reels in total. If you bring me all 3, I'll let you in. Oh, I almost forgot. You'll need this. I have the cinema key. It opens all the cinema gates. Return to the theater once you've collected all 3 reels. So we have a goal, and that is to the film, or to get all 3 of the reels. There's not much else in the theater. And so this is where I really just kind of am like, okay, do I go down? Well, and these are locked, and I'm not quite sure how to unlock them, but I know from experience that there's some way to do that. Now I remember that particular had a key, or there was a section that needed a key. So I'm gonna go over and check out that one and see what this cinema key, which I've been trying to find for ages, to unlock so I can go into these areas. So I'm gonna go back and re-find the cinema places and basically kind of doing almost like a speed run best I can through it, checking the map when I need to. And we're gonna go across the way. And there's our first cinema key. But first I need to go over here and release one of the spirit kitties. So this was interesting because you're doing a bunch of island hopping, and all of these monsters have a key over their heads. So that signaled to me that there was going to be a gate. So I didn't even really get to the gate, but I had already unlocked the gate before I got down to it. And this was just me trying to get as much of the garbage as possible so I could potentially make even more. And I do go up there and I see there's another photo as Dagobert as a collector of beautiful garbage. Film reel. Collect 3 film reels and bring them back to Dagobert in the theater. You've collected 1 reel. So I kind of do a little bit of exploring to see if there's anything, and this was mostly just kind of a red herring to go around. So I go back, and of course then there's a toggle that makes it so there's a little bit easier. And we just go over there. Now I'm kind of trying to remember where the other ones are. This is the other path that I can't access because it's locked. Most likely I need to come in from Mira's basement, so there's something in there that I need to be able to access that I just can't, and I have a feeling that there's a skill that I need to get there. So I'm trying to remember where there was a something that I needed, and I inevitably hit zoom out, and yeah. So I go this way, and I'm trying to first find out that goes into a different area. So I decided not to go that way because I seem to remember that there was one in Sculptor's Peak. And this is another, this looks like a special attack, but I don't remember, I don't know how to get to it just yet. I haven't, sometimes it's a matter that I could probably get there, but it's just, I need another skill. I maybe need another skill. So then it wasn't there, so I'm going to try a couple of other locations. Now I'm specifically trying to focus on the cinema reels, so I'm really not focused on fighting any of the bad guys, just because I'm trying. I mean, if I might hit like one or two of them like that, but or if they get in my way. But I'm really trying to just trying to make my way up to where that's going to be located. And there's the cinema key. So we go up and we have the retracting bridges. Toggle for that. So these monsters, because they are specifically in the area that I need to be in, I am going to go and actually defeat them. And we're just gonna keep going. So this is a nice little jaunt of jumping across bridges that are going to be retracting. And I look over and that is too far. So I can't make that distance. So we're going to go the other way. And I see a key, and it doesn't dawn on me that it's a time key. So I go through, and it expires. So I go back because I think maybe I need to do this key. But then when I hit the second time, I realize, okay, well maybe I can't. And then of course there's always a simpler solution. So one thing about this game is there's some puzzles that you might have to do a little bit more thinking, but sometimes it's just a matter of the simplest one. So there's another film reel. Now we have two. And we're gonna go back this way. And looking at the map, we're gonna hit that, and that will, there's the way that was too far across, but now we have a permanent means of getting across. And then I'm trying to remember where the third one was, because I don't remember exactly where, and I decide I don't want to mess with trying to jump across. There's probably something hidden, but there might be something hidden on the pathway, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So this is me. I'm trying to remember where the third one was. I don't remember. I don't think it was in Demon Point. For some reason, I was thinking it might be in this moldstone. And here is a horde challenge that I just completely skip over. So I'm gonna spend a bit of time. There's really not any downside per se to continuing to explore. If anything, you're gonna get more familiar with the areas. I'm gonna go up here real quick, but I realized that that was where there was a special attack or a special upgrade or something, and I've already collected it, so there's nothing there. And then I realized that I'm probably a little too high up, so I need to go down low. But again, I'm trying to find the third movie, and I figure, you know, I'm going around, and I don't believe it was in Demon's Point, but there was a lot of garbage that I was able to pick up, and that was really kind of that's my other goal, is I'm trying to earn enough garbage that I can purchase some more upgrades. But realistically, I'm eventually going to go and look somewhere else. This is a curse of weakness. You will die in one hit. Sure, I'm gonna take it, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna chicken out and go over to some easier targets, because I know I can go and hit these other targets down here, and I can reasonably expect that I can either keep them at bay, or my spirit helper can probably take them out. Spirit helper does it, or I do it, it doesn't matter as long as one of us does it. And I'm able to go through, and all I'm doing is just collecting some basically free cash. I really don't want to do the logs again. I will probably go from a different angle than cross those logs again, because that was a pain. Still worth going the initial time. So then I'm going to go over to the other side, because what I really am looking for is I'm looking for easy kills that I am going to potentially not get hurt by. And these guys to me are a bit risky, because I do have a tendency to get hit. I was a little nervous with that, with jumping in the water, because it can hurt you. But again, I have the fall damage turned off, so I don't take that damage, which is probably the only reason why I survived that. And then I have 2 more enemies, and I just need to have, and I have 2 right there, and that gets me another upgrade point. So there, I'm gonna go back to the Sinner's Inn. And just gonna, hey, how's that research with that big beetle? Oh, I just finished, actually. Turns out you might have been getting too close to her nest, and she was just protecting her eggs. But now that she knows we mean no harm, we get along great. Yeah, I would have preferred we do that before. So here I guess I really haven't been looking for discs too much. And I'm gonna go through some different things of what could I get. And I don't know if I got anything or not. The feet first really doesn't matter for me because since I am using the assist, then I have that. Now the slime scraper is really interesting because it makes them drop more damage, and the more garbage I have, the more damage I do. So I do purchase a major marker, and I purchased a couple of item markers. And then I twirl my broom around because I did that. Now, it is telling me where one of the next major area is up by the cinema, but I'm trying to determine where I can go to get that third one, because I just need that third film. And there's those two options. And I go back to Moldstone Pass, I think. Because I keep hitting the zoom out when I'm trying to hit A. So it gave me a question mark over here, and I was like, what was it? And then I realized, okay, it's the challenge. So I'm gonna accept the challenge. Now then I re-accept the challenge. So this particular challenge was a bit interesting, and it took me a few tries, but most of that's just because I was getting too close, and I would get really close because there are times where you could see where they have the red exclamation mark that's coming up over their head, and they're gonna have these little the little flame icons emanating out from them in a circle. So when you start seeing the little the exclamation marks, you want to kind of back away from them, because that's going to be when they're going to be dangerous, and you want to be away from them far enough that you're not in melee range, and you can always come back. So I just kind of took a chill whenever it was like that. Maybe focused on one that wasn't. And just took a space back, and there were times I was like, I would get one away and then I get hit. So the other aspect that I could give as a tip is, learn about your enemies here and find out how you can how you can defeat them, but two, how do they fight? Because once I figured out the exclamation trip, I knew how to avoid being hit. It was just a matter of, could I avoid being hit? And again, it also helped with having the spirit helper, because then that just meant that even when I was not actively engaged, the spirit helper was engaged. And then the other part was just trying to stay one ahead of it. And there I got my upgrade point, which satisfied that particular level, or that little question mark that was right there. And I'm locating and looking for places that, one, you know, clearly involve jumping off the map, but one, are places that I have not yet explored, places that, and this is where I'm pointing out that I have a feat that allows me to dash through a enemy and they take damage. So I'm looking for, on the one hand, places on the map that I have not yet been, but I'm also still trying to locate that, the last cinema. And here I'm gonna get distracted because I'm gonna be like, oh, rather than going across this way, let me go down here and look at some other things that are there. So this is a dangerous blast upon death, which I'm like, yeah, no thanks. Those are those little pink things that I just had on the on that challenge, and that is too far for me to jump. And I'm trying to look and see where it could connect, and it's probably going to connect over with the other section once I can get that section unlocked. And I move over here, and then I realized that there was a reason, there was something else that I was trying to do, and I needed to go back. And I'm trying to remember where it was that I was trying to go. So naturally, the first thing I do is I jump off the edge. And then realize, okay, I need to go. I look at this way and then realize, no, that I can't go that way because that was too far to jump. So I did need to go up after I kill that monster. I think I was trying to figure out if there was a way I could get down there, but I think I need another skill to get down there. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm starting to remember it was up this way. And then, yeah, there was the toggle. And desperate swing. Increase attack speed at low health. Not too bad. And then you have another toggle and makes it much easier to get there. And so that was that path. So I'm gonna try, because I'm pretty convinced it's moldstone somewhere, but not that way. So I'm going to go this route instead. And I walked in on that. That goes over to the tower, and it's just out of reach. And the boomerang takes a little bit of time to set up. So I couldn't do that. And this is where I'm just like, where is it? Where is, because I know I've encountered it. And we're just gonna keep moving. Always top up when you can. So we'll go up into the tower. And here's one puzzle that I haven't quite figured out yet. Because I figured maybe I needed to dash across. But that doesn't quite work either. Or maybe I could stand in the middle. Or... But I'll have to sit and probably come back to it. You know what? I bet if I stood on one and I did my spirit... Make a note of that. So at this point, I'm not quite sure where it is. So I'm going to go and explore some other places that I have not been able to reach yet. Trying to find where I can continue to expand and explore. And I figure at the minimum, I'm continuing to earn the garbage currency. If I had a nickel for every time I have jumped off and fallen off a cliff or the edge, because this is another one, and I think that there's another skill that then I'll have to, once I learn that, then I'll be able to make it over. So that's one thing that I've learned about this game, is that I'm checking to see if there's anything that I'm missing. is that every time you upgrade with getting a new skill, such as being able to do the dash and the jump dash and the split spirit, and now that the spirit can jump, every time you have something like that, the new levels, there's not only new levels that incorporate those skills, but there are sections of the older levels that were previously inaccessible that you can now access. And this is probably a feature of there it is. There's the last movie cinema. It's probably a feature of this type of game, but I have found it especially interesting because it means that you're not really done with that level. It's not a you go through and you complete a level, which is kind of different for me because most of the other Let's Play series that I have on this channel are all about, you know, I go through a level and I finish the level and then I move on. There's another disc. Trying to get those guys out. So I have found that now, one of the things that attracted me to this game in particular was the art style. And the fact that it's this cute little kitty that's going through, and goes through that way, and I went through and I had that, and I wanted to, of course, naturally, and that goes back to another section that I've already explored. So this is an example of opening it up, where now I have access to a previous section that I did not have access to. This gives a more permanent method of being able to access the new section. So sometimes, and I will say that this has been a bit more emotional than I expected for this game. And there's the third reel. Bring them back to Dagobert in the theater. The theater's been marked on your map. And then I gotta find where the theater went. There we are. So being able to warp around the map, fantastic, love it. It's amazing. Naturally, let me lose my special ability before I'm gonna go into a combat. Hey, have you found any of those film reels yet? Yep, I have them right here. Ah, perfect. I'll unlock the theater door. It's on the right. But beware, the movie is extremely scary, so don't say I didn't warn you. So there's really not anything else. And then you come in here and it's an old-timey movie reel, Ghost Slaughter 3. Yeah, I agree. It's not like anybody's gonna be... I mean, ghosts are already dead. That thing is kind of creepy. I will say that of all of them that I have done, this one seemed to be one of the easier ones to avoid, because I managed to make it through I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't get hurt, because I probably did. But pretty much unscathed. Like, I at least wasn't, like, on death's door. And this was interesting, because in the middle, I thought maybe it's gonna do that. The grave reads, "Here lies Pluto." Nice try, though. So I wasn't quite sure what to make of that. And then it had tried to do like some knives or something, and I like how each of the boss battles have different levels. So as you defeat it and it gets down to a certain percentage, then it's done. Whoa, you watched the whole movie? You must be a real movie buff. Maybe sometime we can have a little movie marathon and watch all 3 of them together. And there's Dagobert. Return to Groves when you made 10 friends. However, I did think the film was a bit unrealistic. How can it kill ghosts? We're already dead. Too many plot holes. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 at best. So, and then, you know, seriously, over here, don't do this. Don't throw popcorn on the floor in a movie theater. That's just... Have some consideration for the workers that are going to have to clean that up. If you don't want to clean it up, don't make other people clean it up. Now, I'm looking on the map, and there is some kind of a lock. And so I was thinking maybe if I did my spirit split, but no. I think these are probably the locks on the lower level. When we leave, we'll be able to see that. So, still haven't figured out how to get to that, but it's probably a matter that I'll just be able to go in on the other side, hit the toggle, and it'll be done. But we did get that one done. And, you know, my customary jump off a cliff. And I'm just working on collecting more garbage as go down. I like to get the lift, and there is a small thing that I'm gonna see if I can't get it, but it's gonna involve having to jump over. And I think I may have to come at it from a different angle. And I go back to Pearl's Shrine.